Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 25 of STK Surviving the Knicks. Give it up, y'all. Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
We are back in the building.
Back in the building. Back in the building. Got my brothers here with me. You know what I'm saying? We're all here finally together. Voltron, all together as one. We got my brother Coach B from the BX. What's going on, brother?
Yo, it was a good stretch, and then a slap of reality, man. Shout out to Tibbs. That's what I want to start there. It'll be nice.
Free Obi.
It's happening often.
Free Obi.
It's happening often.
Then we got my brother from another. Ed Dollars in the building. What's going on, my brother?
Yo. I can't shake this cold, but you know what? Got to be with my boys tonight.
That's right.
Wrapping up the best month that the Knicks had, and it's too bad that we fall short today, but it was a fun game.
And last but not least, the undisputed, the indomitable.
Hey.
Jesus Christ.
Wall Street Hek. What's going on, my brother?
He unmuted himself.
After the way this season has played out, man, I'm not talking Knicks tonight. Every time it's my turn to talk, I'm going to talk about how I feel about the Will Smith, Chris Rock situation. I got a lot to say about that.
Beautiful week. Are you going to defer?
Well, let's talk about it.
Listen, we got a whole segment on that. We got to hear your Knicks takes first, my brother. Bless us with those first, because I'm sure we're in for a funny night tonight.
One or two.
All right. And before we get into this, just want to show y'all real quickly, okay, y'all that are out there, okay, my brothers, we're legit. We're a legit show. My brothers are on there. You know what I'm saying? All on there, hosting. Check them out.
Heck, you got a nice little picture there.
This is all from Instagram. All these are from Instagram because I'm like, yo, I was like about to say, yo, send me a picture, and I'm like, wait, I'm not doing that. That just sounds crazy. I'm not that. Yo, send me a pic. And then it was like 10 at night too. I was like, hey, yo, what are you doing, Heck? What are you doing? What are you talking about? But I got my brothers on there. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure that my brothers definitely got credit for the hard work and effort and for surviving the Knicks. You know what I mean? And so, these are my brothers. You check them out. You can search them as creators on Podchaser, or just look us up on that platform, as well as all the other platforms that are out there. We're on a lot of stuff. So check us out. All right. So let's get into this, shall we? Knicks lost this game. They were up for a little while. At one point, they were up like in the second quarter. I kind of stopped watching because I had some other things to do, and I'm kind of gonna lean on you guys to give me the second half takes. But the Knicks, they seem to be doing well. They seem to be in a groove, and it just didn't work out for them. If you look at the plus minuses, Randle, 21 points, only 5 rebounds. It's crazy. -4. The high man, Evan Fournier, was 30 points, but he probably gave up 30 points. I don't know. I figure you guys will help me with that one. Barrett, the lone glimmer in the darkness of despair. Okay, at 25 points. He's been doing amazing things, as Ed pointed out last week on the pod, where he's one of 3 players under or to reach statistical level at 21, and it was only him, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic. Great company.
Let's give him let's applaud him. He's averaging 20 points for the season as of the last game.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, he's at 20 points. Yeah, man. So let's get into this, man. I mean, Wall Street. I know there's other things you want to talk about. I know you discussed it.
It's Jada's fault, Wall Street. Jada's fault.
But Wall Street, give us a take on tonight's game and what were your thoughts?
Every year I watch, virtually every Knicks game unless I'm super busy. But there's always a couple of teams that like I can't, I try to catch as often as possible. And this year has been a lot of Charlotte, man. I love this squad. They are one or two pieces away. And they ran into the Knicks towards the end of the season. We kind of playing the best basketball we've been playing pretty much all season. And it's because the young guys are gelling. And if you look at it, it's not even Randle. Randle's really struggling and the team is kind of still pushing forward. RJ Barrett, he has been playing the best basketball of his career, I think. Like he is so like in control. He's so balanced. He's getting into the lane and he's like sidestepping, little Euro stepping, and it's unstoppable. I'm telling you, RJ, and we've been talking about it. RJ's superpower is he's really strong. So when you run into him, you're gonna feel it. He knocks you back, kind of like a running back. He runs like a strong running back. So he's just in his game, and we've been playing the best ball that we've been playing. But we ran into a Charlotte that is, getting ready to take it into the next level. LaMelo Ball is special, very special. Yeah, 15 dimes tonight. But yeah, we've been playing probably the best basketball that we've been playing all season. So the only positives that you could really take, and before we got on air, you guys were talking about playoff berths and how many games are left in the season. I can't believe that you guys are still looking at that. I'm looking at now, I don't even really care to be into the playoffs, man. If we like what how many games are left? I don't even know. I don't even care.
Six games.
It doesn't matter.
Five back.
The only thing that matters right now is that RJ took a step. It looks like quickly shook off that, that what they call it, the sophomore year wall. It looks like he's kind of like shaking that off a little bit. So yeah, I'm happy with the progression of the young guys, but que será, surviving the Knicks, they call it, right?
Surviving the Knicks. There you go. Ed Dollars, what was your take tonight, bro?
Is your mute button ready?
2 minutes, Ed. 2 minutes.
Yo, the Knicks were, you know what? I've been liking the way they've been playing, man. They won 4 in a row until today's game. Julius took two games off in that little span. And the young Knicks were really attacking the glass and going for it. My man Deuce is playing well. Quickly, as you mentioned, Heck, he shook off the sophomore slump, and has been like really playing a new type of point guard, like Lou Williams meets Crawford type of guard, but it really worked for the Knicks. And RJ was really attacking, man. RJ's been really playing well. And you know what? Obi's been playing well in that 4-game stretch. Today, we just met the better team. They have the better point guard. They got the better bigs. We were basically even through 3 quarters, and they kind of separated us. They separated in the 4th quarter, where Bridges was really attacking the glass. And Julius wasn't trying to have it today. There was a situation where Bridges came in for the dunk. Julius could have stepped right in front of him. He didn't. Julius quit on the team a couple of games ago. So, wow. But I'm kind of torn, man. Last year we were the 4th seed. This year we're the 11th seed. We're not going to make the playoffs. There's pros and cons to not making the playoffs. Pros is we get a good high draft pick, top 10, probably maybe top 7. Bad is that we signed Julius based on last year, thinking that he would propel us. Good, RJ's really stepping into his own. We could probably build around him. Bad, Julius's contract. Tibbs is a coach. So, I'm a little torn, but the last 5 games have been fun.
That's a hot take right there. That's a hot take right there. Oh, man. Coach.
Yeah, like real quick, like your Tips, get your boy, man. Like, come on, like.
Oh, man.
As far as this game today is concerned, like coming off a 3-game, I think it was like a 4-game winning streak. Yeah, the Charlotte made adjustments. We played them last Wednesday, it worked in our favor. We played them this Wednesday, and they had the extra grit. They had a decision maker that was not going to be denied. Big shout out to Burke. Started out the game strong. Had I think 6-7 rebounds in the first quarter. So that tells that he was fighting. but like the rest of the team wasn't really fighting with him. Like everybody else like plays like this easy kind of game for the most part. Offensively, we shot the ball decent, but it didn't help when it mattered most. Like we couldn't get a stop that on those last 3 minutes. And it's a shame because Julius turned the ball over. He missed a free throw. You know, he gave up like 2 shooting fouls. I'm like, man, like when you needed to stop, we couldn't get it. And that's how Charlotte ended up pulling away. So on that end, it's like Tibbs, like you was doing so well. Obi only played 12, 13 in the minutes, 12 and a half minutes. Like, come on, like he's on a hot streak. Like he's riding high right now. I understand you're trying to keep the game close, like, but let the guy go, man. He was second off the bench as far as minutes, but Jesus. Let the kid get the 18 to 20 minutes no matter what, and see what happens, because that last stretch wasn't cool. And RJ at the 4 was, I guess it makes sense. It didn't work today.
Okay. All right.
Yo, on Twitter, there was all sorts of rumors that Julius was asking out of New York.
Yeah.
It turned out to be not real, but what's going on with Julius, man? What's going on with him?
Yeah. So I mean, we could either talk about the plus minus of the Knicks 4-game stretch or their latest run, or we could talk about Julius. Which guys? What do you guys? In fact, you know what? Wall Street. I mean, you guys can pick out of the two, whichever you want. Wall Street, what do you want to address? Julius Randle, or you want to address whether the latest run, whether or not the Knicks should have just tanked the season or not? Do you think this run was good? Which one do you want to tackle?
Yeah, the run. I think. Let me touch up on a little bit of both because they have a lot to do with each other, actually. But
okay. Yeah.
But the run was nice, But what I feel with Julius, and I had talked about it before, is you come off the best season of your career, and your organization gives you nothing. That's a hard pill to swallow. So I think that he got a little bit of growing pains. It's hard to play in New York, and that what you're seeing with Julius Randle right now is just another example of that. It's hard to succeed here. It's no joke when they say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Julius Randle is still in a position, even with as bad as he played this year, he's still in a position where he would have, I don't know about his contract, but whatever it is with his contract, but if he gets himself in a position where he could decide where he wants to go, there'll be a lot of teams looking for him. And there's a couple of teams that are in playoff contention or even in championship contention that could use a guy like Julius. They could take a guy like Julius and really get over the top with him, especially, he's a big body, man. Those rebounds that he's getting, they are not by accident. He doesn't live above the rim. So how is he getting these rebounds? It's because he's technical with it and he boxes out and he's strong. If you look at some of his assists, he's doing even no-look passes. He's really developed and he's a big body. He's a poor man LeBron James or B man LeBron James. Listen, he's a poor man LeBron James. Because what does he do? Listen.
Bro.
What?
Listen.
Come on, man. Come on.
He's a poor man.
Listen, LeBron James.
He's a poor man.
He's LeBron James on crack.
Listen, I heard a saying one time when I was younger. They say that dude is definitely not Jordan, but the way he played tonight was Jordan-esque. What is Jordan? Listen to me. Jordan is 30 points a night, right? Consistently for his whole career, right? That's what Jordan was. He was the GOAT at doing it night in, night out throughout the playoffs and throughout the finals, especially. But on a given night, you can look great. So what did Julius Randle do? When he was great, when he took the Knicks to the playoffs, he brought the ball up from the power forward position, ran through picks, found guys and got assists, got to the basket, got to the free throw line, and hit a lot of mid-range shots.
That shit don't even sound good.
This is what he did. This is what he did. He played his game and it kind of mimicked LeBron James, but it wasn't as good as LeBron James. But on a given night, he gave you 30 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. He ain't LeBron, but that's LeBron-esque. LeBron does that consistently for his whole career. Julius Randle does not do that consistently for his whole career, but he did just prove to us that he could do that for a season. So if you put him in in a comfortable position, he can be really good again. And if he's not happy in New York,
option, he's done.
Listen, you can't, after the season that, I'm gonna end it right here. After the season that he had, you can't pay him nothing less than like a third option on a great team. You put him with a Luka and whoever else they got riding over there, whoever else is their number 2 guy. I thought when Dame was playing ball at his max and he had CJ before the injury and they were really clicking, you throw Julius in there, it's ay bendito time. It's ay Dios mío time.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So what happened with Julius is that he didn't get the help. Look at Julius Randle. He's been playing, except for when he first got into the league, he had no vet. Right? When he first got into the league, he had a vet. But shortly after that, he didn't have no vet. He was always around young guys. Now he comes to the Knicks, he comes to the Garden, and he's asked to be the guy. And you know what he does? He takes us to the playoff. He takes a young RJ Barrett. He brings Obi to the playoffs. He brings Quickly to the playoffs. And now, now it's like, all right, Madison Square, this is what I did for you. What are you going to do for me? Here's Kimba and Evan. Come on, man. I'd be stressed out too. You just gave me Kimba and Evan after I just put this team on my back. Kimba's not even playing no more. And now, and this is my last point. When I first got on the show, I started talking about fool's gold. You know what I'm saying? Now we got Evan Fournier looking like fool's gold picked out of diamond titanium because he's the number 1 3-point shooter in Knicks history, and he's probably going to get a motherfucking bag for it. And that sucks because Evan Fournier fucking sucks. Okay, he sucks.
Speak your truth, my brother. Yo, Ed. Yeah, brother. Speak your truth.
Titanium wrap diamond fake gold
I agree. He would be a great second or third option on a good team. Julius. I don't know about the LeBron stuff, but I agree. He's not a bad player, but you look what's going on. The league scouted him. It became predictable, and I think part of that's the coach. But Ed, what's your thoughts?
My thought is that we got Julius Randle was fool's gold last year. Last year I was the biggest Julius cheerleader, and my man shot 40% from the 3-point line last year. His career average is like 33%. This year he shot 32% from the free throw line, from the 3-point line. You know what kind of statistical drop off that is? 8 points. That's like getting hit by lightning 3 times while walking to your car every morning. That's amazing. And he did it because last year was the fluke year. The rest of the years is the regular years. We paid him based off of the fluke year. And Hector, you're right. He's a good number 3 on a championship team. The problem is he's getting max money now. So if the Knicks
he's not getting max money.
Yeah, he got max money.
Close to it.
He got under it. They paid him. He took less. It's like 103 million, which is a great deal. But
he got max money for the year he came out. If he waited another year, he could have got more max. But based off of his tenure and his time, he got max money. He's going to make $35 million next year. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, I've been reading a lot of articles that basically say that it's getting to the point where if we try to trade Randle, we may have to attach a first-round draft pick with it. And again, it's not that he's been bad. What endured Randle to the fans last year is the fact that he worked hard. He was always working. He was outworking the other opponents. He got paid, and now obviously, like natural, human nature, he's backing off a little bit. You know what? His defense fell off. His 3-point shot fell off. And last year, the entire offense revolved around him. You know what I'm saying? Reggie was passing him the ball. Alfred Payton was passing him the ball, looking off RJ. Now, there's been, in the beginning of the year, he was still the offensive generator. And now he's starting to be the sidekick, and he doesn't like that. Lastly, his leadership. All right, Your numbers fell a little bit. Cool. All right. But what about your leadership? Yesterday, 2 days ago, when they played that other game, they won the game. He threw the ball in the stands and walked off angry. He's not a good leader, man. He's not a good leader. So what are we paying for? We're paying for someone that had a statistical drop-off tremendously, a guy that's only averaging 20 points a game, a guy that, yes, he's averaging good rebounds and good assists, but that means that the ball has to be in his hands at all times. And lastly, he's a sourpuss. I also read that sometimes in the locker room, he gets dressed in another locker room. He doesn't like interact with the team, man. He don't want to be there no more. And it's hurting the Knicks. And it's like, it's an age-old story. You're at a job, you're the leader of your job, and then a newbie comes in and takes away your shine, and you're hating. And he's hating on RJ. And obviously the system works better when it runs through a guard. And you know what? When we get a better point guard, it'll run even better. And that pushes him aside. And he's not liking that. He liked the fact that the ball was going through his hands every single possession, every single time. And now it's not. And I'm not sure he can handle it. And you know what? And the year that he had that statistical anomaly, it was also the COVID year, the bubble year, and there was no fans in the stands. Yo, this is New York, man. You got to accept the booze. The booze is part of it. You go down with the ship with the booze, and that brings you up, and you come out like the Firefox in flames and shit. And we're all endeared to that. And I don't think he has it mentally up there. So it's very disappointing. I was a big Randle fan, but I think it's time to move off of Randle. And I think he's good. I think he's a good number 2, number 3. He's a good number 2 on an okay team. He's a good number 3 on a really playoff team. Where we are at right now and where he's at in his career, he needs to move on.
Yo, man, this is a generation of people not being held accountable. Like, for all the coaching that Tibbs does, he got the baby blanket covering Julius Randle's face right now. Like, he does whatever he can to coddle him. Like, oh, you had a bad game yesterday. Okay, I'm not gonna sub you out as much this game. Like, yo, bro, Obi's hot. Right. Like, run with him. Don't cater to Randle, hoping that he gets his bracket back. And look, it costs you a game. Like, it's sad. It's very, very annoying to see. Across the board in the past few games, he's done, in that stretch where Obi played at least 20 minutes, like, we were winning games. Like, Obi's gonna make the right play. Like, we talked about it last week. And like, he's it's easier to play with him because he's gonna run hard. He's gonna be unselfish. So let Obi rock out, even if he's not as tough defensively. But I'm pretty sure they give you the same amount of effort, especially when Julius Randle's complaining about a call. Like, that's like ridiculous. Yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say about Julius Randle. But big shout out to Alec Burks because that possession against Detroit was big. And then, like I said, he had a decent game today, even though LaMelo had 15 assists. Like, it's just,
LaMelo's hot.
Like, he's not the premier point guard to have, but he had us in a good place coming in with that 4-game win streak. So, like, to me, the biggest thing we can do going forward is build consistency with what we have. So, as annoying as it is to see, keep the same starting 5, And then if you want to jump ship after that, like, give him another season. Because, like, this stretch is like we're living and dying with it. And Tibbs knows that he made a mistake not giving Obi more minutes. And, like, ultimately, it could have been a lot easier for the rest of the team. Had other guys, the youth been able to hold it down. And I think Quentin Grimes being out, is a big factor in all that as well. But Evan Fournier scored, and we needed every basket he made. So, like, I'm not the offense for defense trade is questionable, but, like, yeah, keep the same rotation, man. I mean, keep the minutes. The rotation obviously is what he does, but, like, keep the minutes consistent because the young guys need that. Jericho needs that. And
I don't know. I think that Burke should, like, take a seat back too. You got 6 more games. We're not making the playoffs. We know who Alex Burke is. Let's see if we can get more minutes for Deuce.
Nah. I think
I like Deuce.
He can wait a little bit.
Tough kid.
Like he could
You play like Deuce. Coach, you play like Deuce.
I appreciate
He's a
that.
tough kid. I love the fact that he takes people full court. You don't see that no more.
Yeah, but at this
I
like
love
the
it.
same token, it's like Burks is, Tibbs' guy. And it's like I don't wanna switch it up and then have it go downhill, especially because Tibbs is already coming back. So build consistency on that end. And like,
but what's the matter right now? We're not making a playoff. So what are we doing? Like,
all right,
even
so
if we
now,
do make the playoffs,
right, same thing that I
can't make the playoffs.
The
Hawks won. We got 5 games. We got 6 games left. We're 5 games back. The Hawks won. We lost. We have to win all 5 games.
Give them the summer.
Everyone else has to lose.
Mate, they take like the last 2 games, and then you give McBride the summer league and all of and some preseason. But you build consistency with the same 5. Maybe Julius Randle is less of a baby. Like maybe
Another thing about Julius Randle is that his mentor, Kenny Payne, left to coach Louisville. So that's another guy that kind of helped him out. He's not in the right headspace.
Yeah. I was bigging up, Julius Randle. I'll take Julius Randle. If I could put if I could put a team around him, if I could put the right pieces together, I think that there's a lot of different kind of variations of different kind of teams that Julius Randle would play really well in, but it's not working here. Now, at the end of the day, he is immature. There is no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? And there's no doubt. And to be a leader, you got to be mature, especially at the Garden. And without a doubt, his body language is, even when he was winning, his body language is always all off.
You're not going to get equal value if you try to move him, right? So, like,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Unless we trade for Westbrook.
Knicks are in a bad spot.
We held accountable.
I don't know, man.
Because this is a draft where everybody's trading picks. Like no one is trying to really keep their pick in this draft. All the ESPN insider stuff, no one sees Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, the other kid, the small forward. There are no franchise players coming in this draft. Next year and the year after, there's some stuff brewing. But in this draft, like if the best time to not be good would have been last year, because you had guys that you could have shot for. But this draft, it's almost like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you're the Knicks, because
there's always someone
you can't tank.
There's always one person.
But for the Knicks, to me, the strategy is trade Julius, because this ain't the marriage is over. There's nothing you could do to fix it. He just looks, I mean, we were watching the Wizards game and he just looked like it just wasn't working. Like it just, the offense flowed better when it was flowing through RJ. Okay. It just looked, everybody's touching the ball. It just seemed it looked more enjoyable. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they gave up the big lead at the end. But I mean, the Knicks are just in a bad spot, and this was probably the worst time to really have a losing season, because you're gonna get a piece, but there's like a lot of hard threes.
I mean, right now we're not really in a bad spot. The only bad part that we have is really his contract, and even his contract's not crazy. He's making $32 million. He's probably worth $25 million. And we got all our draft picks. We got
cap is going up too, right? Isn't the cap going up this year? The cap is going up. Yeah.
So we should be able to draft him. We should be able to trade him for someone that's equally undesirable. That's the problem.
I don't know about that. I think that you get a couple of guys and a pick, you probably still get something from him.
We could definitely draft him. We could trade him for Westbrook. That's for sure. Anyhow.
Next.
Would we do that? No, but if you think about it, we trade for Westbrook. We deal with Westbrook for 1 year, and that's it.
He's gonna pass the ball. He's gonna get assists. People are gonna get,
I'm not in this conversation. No, not happening.
The only problem we're having with trading for Westbrook is RJ's alpha may be he may put a chink in RJ's alpha, in his armor a little bit.
His style of play doesn't mesh, but like I don't think he's gonna like take the ball all the way. I think he understands like, you get your shine, I'll do what I can. Like
at least maybe at this stage of the game.
It's almost
at this stage of his career.
There has to be some writing on the wall.
The only good thing about this next season is that we got a better record than the Lakers.
Oh, shots fired, y'all. Shots fired. Hey, listen. Shout out to Clearview. Clearview's a fan of both, which is interesting. It's like, it's
like being a Yankee fan.
Can't be both. You gotta pick a side, bro. You gotta pick a side. At some point, you gotta pick a side. But needless to say, so for the topic of the night, obviously, something occurred on Sunday that set the world on fire. Okay, if you were living in a cave, or if that,
Will
Smith at the Oscars ran up on stage after Chris Rock had made a joke towards his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and he smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. I mean, just to say it bluntly, he assaulted him in terms that, because that's what he did. He assaulted him. And he's lucky he didn't go to jail. But I guess the question I would ask you guys, right? What was it just? And did his actions take away from a historic night? And I start with you, Wall Street, because if you want to tackle this.
I think I was just joking. I didn't think that we was actually going to talk about this. But I think
talking about it.
I think that they all got mental issues, bro. I think they all got mental issues. I think I know there's a couple conspiracy theorists. This is like looks like some Illuminati type shit, right? Where it's like, yo, you don't go up there if you Mr. Superstar Black man, don't go up there and slap this other superstar Black man right now in front of the whole country, then something bad's gonna happen. When you look at it right there, he almost looks like he's acting, but like he's scared. He's telling him, if you really look at it, I'm big on body language, bro. I'm big on body language. When he's yelling, he almost looks scared to me. He looks like a scared little kid talking about, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. If you really look at his face, he looks like a scared little child. And maybe that facial expression is like, as all of this is happening, he's like, am I throwing my career away right now? So maybe some of those things, because he doesn't just look like, if you really look at it, he doesn't look really angry. His facial expressions don't even match what he's saying. He almost looks like he's ready to cry right there at that moment. But he has been violent before, and I think that you want to talk about what happened, you got to talk about mental issues, and amongst a lot of celebrities, So there's celebrities that are even keel, but there's been a history of celebrities that I don't know. I always thought, like, when I thought about Michael Jackson, I told my father one time, I was like, yo, you know what happened to Michael Jackson? And he goes, what? I go, the lights. And he goes, you're a retarded little kid. Like he really like brushed me off. It was like, yo, the lights you're not supposed to be in the lights like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some privacy. So when you're in the limelight like that, I feel like some people just aren't mentally, capable of holding it, especially to a certain point. Throughout his whole career, he's been a very strong person. But, I think him and his whole family is a little weird. Even those kids are a little weird.
Yeah. Big Task at Hand agrees with you, by the way. He said Wall Street is a real one to recognize that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Coach.
In short, like, you defend your wife. Like, I get it. I definitely felt like Will Smith did a great job of keeping a clean image, like, his whole career. So, like, for that, like, moment to occur at the Oscars was a little unsettling. I definitely don't think you put your hands on someone like Chris Rock in public, because like he's smaller than you. Like you take him backstage or something, you have a word with him.
He was Pookie.
Like, yo,
you put your hands on Pookie.
So
you don't get no points for that. You don't get no points.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I get it. Like, okay, you feel like you had to defend your wife at that moment. Like, cool. I guess I heard allegedly there's like more to it. Like, they had a long-standing history, but I don't know.
Yeah. I heard the same thing.
So
there was beef. There's prior beef to this, and this was like the culmination of it.
Well, like you still won the award, so congrats on that end. But yeah,
he might lose it though. He might lose it because of this. Yeah, they're talking about swift action.
They let him walk out with it already. Like that defeats the purpose. You know, stop the whole show. But whatever.
You're right. Why didn't they? Right? It's questionable. Like, why didn't you?
Ridiculous after the fact.
I don't know. Ed Dollars.
Yo, for real, it was disgraceful, man. I mean, I'm married. I got children. I got a mother-in-law. I got no pair. You know what I'm saying? If someone disrespects my house, my wife out in the streets, yes, I'm going to defend her honor. But those weren't the streets. Those were the Academy Awards where you were going to be, where you were nominated as Best Actor in a film for the year. Probably one of the best days of your life was going to happen there. Additionally, his wife isn't just his wife. It's Jada Pinkett Smith, who's an actress in its own right and hosts various shows on television.
Table Talk.
And dated her son's friends and slept with them because of your open marriage that you guys openly talk about. I mean, these guys are all over the social media. They're all over Instagram. They're all over podcasts. They're all over everything, man. Chris Rock is an entertainer, and what he was doing was an entertainment skit. He's a comic that was hired for that particular evening, and his joke wasn't even that difficult. I watched G.I. Jane. I found Debbie Moore to be super sexy in her shaved head. I thought it was amazing, and the fact that she was like, "Oh, G.I. Jane 2," ultimately he has alopecia. Alopecia is not cancer. Let's be real right there. Right. Exactly. Alopecia.
It's an autoimmune disease.
Basically, in everyone's life, if you have some type of stress at one point or another, you'll have alopecia. It's just,
exactly. And if you rub $300 million on alopecia, it makes it feel better.
No, that's not downplayed.
Rub $300 million on it.
But the bottom line is that Will Smith, number one, he laughed at the joke. Number two, he saw his wife, and his wife could have just put her hand on his leg and said, "Don't worry about it. It's not worth it." No, he bypassed that. He went up on stage, right? And he smacked a person on stage at the Academy Awards, award show that was produced by a black man. Where he hit a black man, and he was going to win Best Actor as a black man. It sullied the whole night. And I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna show you my I'm gonna take my background off, and I gotta show you guys something.
It's a historic night, man. And all we remember from that. Reading this. Yeah.
I'm in the middle of reading this book.
Yeah.
Will.
Oh wow.
And I was reading it, and it's about inspiration. It's about this guy's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and how he came up. How violence is not the answer, how love is everything. I'm reading this book. And the more you read this book and you see that incident, you got to separate the two, man. And he really did a disjustice for himself. He did a disservice to the people that he portrayed in that movie that he actually won the Academy Award for. And it's just a sad thing, man. Ultimately,
he set black people back like 30 years.
No.
I wouldn't say that. Wait, hold on. Listen.
There it goes.
Yo, don't go there. Hold on.
No.
But just to frame it and from a Knicks perspective,
right.
That's when the guy's stressed out, man. His wife had an affair. They have an open relationship. He has some issues that are unresolved, and the lights might be too great for him, like Hector mentioned, and it all came to a palm on that day, akin to what's happened with Julius this year. The fans are back. things are not going your way. The coach is not writing you. You got a new young buck taking your shine, and things are falling apart. And Will Smith chose violence. Randle is choosing chaos.
You're already in the league. Be happy, man. Like you making billions. Try to find that peace. I'm sorry. I can't tell people's problems, but
I mean, listen. In this situation, it was just a bad look. Initially, I was torn because I was like, well, he's defending his wife. But then as I thought about it, like I slept on it and I'm thinking about it on my way to work. I'm like, yo, you never mess with the money. And he just killed his brand. He gonna go on stage after he assaulted, because let's talk about it in real terms. He assaulted Chris Rock. He could have pressed charges. A lot can still happen to Will Smith right now. And whatever happens, he needs to bear that, because he did that. And everyone's witness to it. Yo, this shit was on the internet 5 minutes after it happened. You know how I know that? Because my wife was on Instagram and was like, yo, Will Smith just smacked Chris Rock. And we like, what? Wait a minute. Like, no, that's fake. We turned on the Oscars and they were literally, it was literally like, because we DVR'd it. It was literally 5 minutes from the time that it happened. I'm like, yo, this shit just happened. So it went viral like that. And you got a black man assaulting another black man, which is bad, on a night of historic significance that you had a black man that was the show's creator. You had black women that were part of hosting the event. I mean, you had so many things going on for people of color for that we were winning. And then he goes up, he assaults Chris Rock, and then he wins the award. Everybody's like, oh man. They give him the standing ovation. Then he's up there crying, talking about he wants to be a vessel for love.
Yeah. I just kept on saying to myself, you just smacked the mother. Right? And then he would say something else about peace. And I would just look at the screen, but you just smacked the mother.
I will say that.
What are you talking about? Come on.
I will say that Chris ate that. Chris ate it.
Oh.
Imagine if he would have fell.
Woo-hoo. Not only that, he didn't hit him back. Because any of us, I guarantee, if any one of us in this chat,
I'd have cut him. I'd have pulled out my little bit and cut him.
We'd have been a fight right there. The Oscars would have went to commercial. Because any of us would have been fighting right there.
Not only did he not hit him back, but he
continued with this.
He continued as if it didn't happen and made a joke about it.
Yeah.
He should be applauded. I mean, I'm more of a Chris Rock fan than I ever was because of that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, we all would have been fighting. They'd be like, oh, the Oscars just went to break.
Well, I was hoping that he would just look at them and just make one more joke. And even if he would have made one more joke and ran, that would have been great.
I would have loved if he said, man, Will Smith is mad in March. Imagine in August.
Yeah, that would have been great. He should have made another joke.
Yo, real man. It's like do that to Jada Pinkett, right? Like,
yeah, but if you watch it back, so Chris Rock continued, and this is a guy that has toured the world making jokes. He was fumbling on his words.
Yeah, he was mad.
Yeah, that's the
he just got smacked.
But it was, but when you really think about it, I know he just got smacked, but he was able to continue. But he was. I think he was talking to somebody in his mic, and they asked him if he could continue. He was like, "Nah, I'll go on."
Let me ask you guys a question: how disrespectful was that smack? Like, he didn't punch him. He smacked him.
And then it was a 20 on a 1 to 10 scale.
And then not only that,
classic. Like, all he needed was a white glove. It
was not only that, but let me tell you something. When you smack somebody, you don't turn around. When you turn around, you basically not just only smacked them, but also said, not only am I going to smack you, but I'm going to give you my back because I know that you're not going to do nothing about it. See, because right there when he turned around, he could threw the microphone at the back of his head. He could have tackled him from behind, pushed him off the stage. you know. But Will turned around. He wouldn't do that to a lot of other people, though. I'll tell you, if it was The Rock up there making jokes.
What did Charlie Murphy say on the Chappelle show when you get slapped? Somebody gotta go after that.
Somebody.
Exactly. Gunfight after that. Somebody gotta go.
Yeah, there was a gunfight after that. Yeah.
It's like I challenge you to a duel.
Yeah. And Will Smith.
But the swiftness of the slap, it was like immediately whap. It was crazy, and he those Muhammad Ali lessons. Those were real lessons, man.
Yeah.
He did it with the swiftness, and you saw his stiff hand at the end of it.
I look at this. Look at this. Bam! Like it was quick. Like it was just like damn. Like oh shit. Like you know what I mean? And it was crazy, and you know, and then him crying afterwards is just showing that you know he got caught up in a moment, and you can't get that back, especially now. Yeah. Yo, that went viral so fast, y'all. Like it literally, like it happened so quick, and it just like it's basically Thursday. We're like 55 minutes away from tomorrow, and it's still a topic of discussion. This is a basketball podcast talking about a man getting smacked in the face.
And about that slap hurt me a little less than the Knicks season hurt me from coming off the 4th seed last year. I felt like this year, Tibbs came up to me as a Knicks fan and slapped me across the face like Will Smith did to Chris Rock.
To the Knicks. There's never no comparison.
There's never no comparison.
Tibbs hurts more than that every day. Watch it.
Every day. Like, every day.
Tibbs slapped every Knicks fan in the face with quickness.
Can I ask you guys one quick question? Do you think Tibbs is back next year? Without a doubt, he's back next year, right?
Yeah, they're supporting him. They confirmed it. They're bringing him back. Yeah.
Although like Worldwide West is going up to Jim Dolan was like, it's Tibbs' fault. Worldwide's not playing around. He's like, yo, it's Tibbs' fault.
Yeah.
I do the same thing.
You gotta figure this out.
It's not just his fault. It's the you know, Hector says it a lot. He didn't have a lot of help. At the same time, he didn't help himself either. You know, Evan Fournier was a mistake. Kemba was a big mistake.
Fournier is fine. Shooters don't go.
Evan Fournier is okay. Maybe he should be an assassin off the bench, actually.
Listen, that's for the next coach to figure out.
Yeah. He needs to come off the bench. You know, and I know we're going on long right now, but you know, if you watch Evan Fournier play, whenever he's on defense, and he's played defense pretty well over these last 4 games. He's been contesting a lot of shots. He got a couple of steals. He's crafty. I watch him because I hate him, and I want him to twist the ankle and get off the fucking court. But check it out. One thing. If you watch, when players see that Evan Fournier is in front of him, they go into a basketball move that I've coined, right? You know that there's bump gathers and there's Euro steps and there's reverse layups and all these stuff. When they see Evan Fournier under the rim, they go to what I call the warm-up drill layup, when they just walk up to him and finger roll it right in his face, like if he's not even standing there. And that's why I don't like it.
This is what they think when Evan Fournier's in front of them.
Yeah, when Evan Fournier's in front of them, they think, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna do a reverse? Am I gonna do a spin move? No, I'm gonna go into my warm-up drill layup.
I'm gonna get paid. I'm getting the bag.
We went 3-1 on the last stretch. Who's your player of the week? We beat Miami.
RJ. Definitely.
Without a doubt.
Definitely.
No, well, last segment, we got the player of the week and the not so player of the week.
Not so player.
So the player of the week, where you got RJ.
I got RJ.
I'm gonna give it as a tie for RJ, because RJ's been doing this thing since the All-Star break. But Obi has been playing well too. Obi and Quickly has been playing well. So I'm gonna give it a Quick.
I'm giving it to Quick, man. That Miami game was all we needed, like against one of the top teams in the East. Like Quick got it. Like he put on.
Yeah. And the not so player of the week is
the greatest. I thought you were gonna say the greatest single season 3-point shooter in Knicks history.
You a hater.
Evan Fournier.
Randle, man.
Not so dirty tonight, though.
Not so MVP of the week. Julius Randle, man.
It's definitely Julius.
Yeah,
I didn't even watch the game like that.
5 points. It was a crybaby. Like, come
He was
on.
a crybaby. Just because he cried. He could have had 30 points those 5 games, and still crying off the court like a little baby. I can't deal with that.
Yeah, he's missing, I guess he fell in love with New York, but New York don't love you. New York is what have you done late, me tell.
That's right.
If you
man's
ain't
calling
the
losing,
Will
Smith, man, he's folding
don't
under
care
the
about
pressure.
what you did
That's
last year. It's all about this year.
Don't pack your bags just yet. But your days are numbered, sir.
Yep.
So,
I'm gonna miss his
fellas.
kid. I like his kid.
So, fellas, this is a great show. Definitely
Surviving
glad
the
that the band is back.
Yes, sir.
Any last words? Start with you, Coach. Any last words?
Listen, we only got a couple left. We're gonna finish strong. Tibbs, do right. Obi was playing 20 minutes. Keep him at 20 minutes, man. Damn, like you see the boy go off, let him eat. Like, I understand Julius Randle is a papa. He's supposed to get the big piece of chicken, but you gotta cut that chicken in half now because he don't deserve it no more.
Without a doubt. Yeah, Ed, what are your last thoughts, brother?
Yo, I want Tibbs to fall on his face, yo. I want him to play Randle as much as possible, and I want Randle to break his legs. And,
oh man, we do not mean that.
Don't say that.
Everyone's gonna blame Tibbs because
he be a vessel of love, brother. Be a vessel of love.
Tibbs. I need something dramatic to happen to Tibbs.
Ed, you got to be a vessel of love. Wall Street.
Let me start crying.
This is easy for me. The single greatest piece of information that I have gotten ever since we started this podcast. Ed has a thing for bald chicks. Never letting that down. This guy talking about G.I. Jane is kind of hot.
He did say that live,
say that.
by the way. He said that live.
Ed got a thing for bald chicks.
Demi Moore was a bad baby back in the day.
Miss Montolio shaved that head.
Demi Moore was the finest chick out there.
Yo, Big Task at hand said, "Oh damn, Ed."
Ed got a thing for bald chicks.
You.
Hey, listen, man. It is what it is. Hey, listen. Let's all be a vessel of love. Let's not wish violence on the Knicks.
For real.
And listen, man, it's gonna be great. We still here. We're gonna cover the playoffs. We're gonna watch my sons.
Yes, that's gonna be fun.
We're gonna watch my sons, in the playoffs.
Cover the draft.
Looking forward to that.
I look forward to the draft. We're gonna have a fun night that night.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun night for real.
Yeah.
And listen, man, it's surviving the Knicks.
Surviving the Knicks, baby.
You guys came this far. What's another season? You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's only been like 30
right.
seasons.
Got here poor. Don't matter what happens. Got here with nothing. Got here with nothing. I came here hungry. Was the worst. I got here starving. What the?
But you don't lose nothing if you ain't making.
You ain't losing nothing. You don't got it.
You got it.
Go. That's the line of the night. You don't lose nothing if you ain't had nothing.
You can't lose nothing if you ain't got nothing.
Word.
Seriously.
And on that note, I want to thank my brothers. I want to thank Big Task at Hand for showing up. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
What's up, y'all?
He's definitely talking about scouting the playoffs for talent for the Knicks upcoming season.
Oh, every year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's every year, definitely. And thank my brothers for showing up. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank definitely Wall Street for figuring out his laptop.
Tag, shout out to
Yes.
Tech.
2 years.
Shout out to
2 years operating on
Yes.
Zoom, but hey.
Wall Street,
Took-
aka tech support. There we
Took
go.
3 weeks. We did it in record timing.
You know what I'm saying? I thank my brothers for having a great show. Appreciate y'all.
And the super
Everyone watching out there. Have
Sir.
a great night. Appreciate y'all.
Peace. Good night, y'all.
Just.Hek.